Hello and welcome to another Forza Motorsport 7 video. Now, if I ask you to think about a sports car of some kind, you will most likely think about the Porsche 911. It is without doubt one of the most legendary sports cars in the world. However, there are a lot of Porsche 911s in the actual Porsche 911 series, so which of the more modern ones is best? Well, me and a few friends went on Forza to find that question out. So, these are the competitors. So those are the cars that we'd be using for this showdown. All of them would be upgraded to the top of S-Class. Obviously I couldn't upgrade mine because it's already at the top of S-Class. And the first test we did with them was a quarter-mile drag race. Now obviously I get the worst launch. The Turbo, the Porsche 911 Turbo S that is just beside me here, is the only four-wheel drive one in the group, and as you can see it just edged ahead of me. If we look at the times, they are incredibly close, like we're all within a second. However, the 911 GT2 RS from 2012 won out on that one. It has 700 horsepower. The guy who's driving that, Dolfinero, said he had 700 horsepower in that thing, and that is absolutely insane. Obviously, if you want to go in a straight line, I get possibly, I believe it's the worst launch out of all of these cars. However, my near 700 horsepower can claw back some places. Now, I did actually manage to overtake the Turbo S in the mile drag. The GT2 RS from 2012 is long gone at this point, but the Turbo S is just trying to claw back second place here. However, it just isn't enough distance. It's very, very close though. If we look at the times, it is incredibly close between me and the Turbo S. So that was the drag race between the 911s. Now onto the circuit race. So for the circuit race, we decided to go to Hockenheim, and already, as we can see, we're pretty much three-way coming down into the first corner. However, I have to back out of that one because I do not want to go three-wide around the first corner. That is just it's way too risky. I didn't want to cause a crash. However, coming into this corner here, if we wait a little bit, there we go. The Turbo kind of, I guess, outbrakes himself, doesn't brake enough, and causes a little bit of a crash. But it's not too much of an issue to everyone else, as we all go down the back straight. Now, obviously, this is going to help the cars that are going in a straight line. My car has 690 horsepower. I think the GT2 RS from 2012 has about 720 horsepower, so by far the most amount of horsepower here. The GT2 RS from 2012 gets the inside line. The Turbo S kind of spins out a bit, but we'll gloss over that. So now it's me and the other GT2 side by side. He's still wheel spinning coming out of that corner there. It's side by side into this fast right-hander. And he does have the superior speed, but I try and keep that inside line through these corners. I get very, very far on the inside through there, and I manage to make the move stick. Now, the reason we're not seeing much of the older GT3 RS is because coming through the corners, it was doing something that the driver, Lewis, called wheelie syndrome. Basically, high acceleration zones, the front wheel was just lifted off the ground, forcing him to go wherever the car basically wanted to go, so that wasn't too great for him. Now, back at the front with the new GT2 RS, you can just see, or the old GT2 RS, sorry, you can just see here how fast it is in a straight line, how big of a gap it's pulling on both the new GT2 RS and the GT3 RS. A little bit further on with the 911 Turbo, coming down the back straight, it's chasing down the GT3 RS, the new one, or the newer one, and the GT2. Gets right behind the GT3 RS. It's sneaking around at the back, trying to find a way past, basically, me and the GT3. Now coming through the right-hander here, you can see that the new GT2 is ahead, and the GT3 RS goes for a dive up the inside. You can't quite see it because that's the camera isn't focused on our cars, but you can see that we are in a bit of a joust back and forward, switching positions, me and the GT3, and we were actually surprised how close the older GT3 and the new GT2 were, because the guy who was driving the GT3 had very much built his car for handling, didn't have much power, so on the straights I absolutely dominated. I could easily overtake the GT3 RS in the straights. However, around the corners, that thing was pretty amazing. As you can see here, I'd try and find a way past, but I just didn't even bother, because I know there's a straight coming up here, and as you can see, my superior power and speed can get the inside line coming into here, so it's side by side coming into this tight right-hander, and I just get the move done. I remember slamming on the accelerator and just trying not to make him or go into the back of my GT2, and it's to the back straight again with all three of us. We've been in a group for maybe a couple of laps now, and it's just back and forward switching positions. You can see the GT3 is now at the back because the 911 Turbo has overtaken him, because he has in the 911 Turbo better speed. Coming into the tight right hairpin, the GT3 makes a dive on the 911 Turbo. However, it almost makes it stick, but the 911 Turbo obviously has better acceleration, better speed, can pull away. I get a little bit sideways through the fast right-hander, but we'll ignore that. Now, coming on to the final few corners, it's very, very close between me and the GT3. I slightly bumped the GT3 coming up the inside there, and once again we're all grouped together, so that made for quite a close finish. Coming through the final corner, I get a little bit wide, but I am able to curve back in front of the GT3, and it's once again a very close finish, but I just managed to beat out on the GT3. However, that GT2 RS from 2012 was way ahead. So for the next test, we went to the Top Gear test track for a acceleration and braking test. Basically, we would all take our Porsches to 100 miles an hour and then stop back to 0, and whoever did that in the shortest distance would win. And the older GT2 went first, and as we can see, it didn't really take that long to get from 0 to 100 and back to 0 again, as me and my GT2, the newer GT2, goes offline. It was a bit of a subtle launch from the older GT2, surprisingly, judging how much power it has. I stopped quite a way ahead of the older GT2, which we found quite surprising. Obviously, the 911 Turbo we see here has the superior launch, the superior all-wheel drive launch. It brakes about the same. It starts to slow down about the same time my GT2 does. However, doesn't it does get stopped quicker than my GT2. The newer GT3 comes off the line now, once again braking around the same time as me and the Turbo have, but just getting stopped just ahead of the 911 Turbo. I apologise if the replays are a little bit glitchy, that's just Forza, I can't really help that. So as we see the older GT3 coming down now, once again braking all around the same point. However, the older GT3 beats out on both the newer GT3 and the 911 Turbo. So yeah, now we do have a little bit of an issue because we all ran ABS on, and as we can see here, the older GT2 RS is locking its wheels up and it didn't get to 100 miles an hour. So I'm not sure whether that's just the replays glitching out. I think it is, but if Dolphinino could tell me, that would be great. But yeah, this is the results. As you can see, my GT2 is way out in front, so it clearly lost that. These three were quite surprisingly close. However, there is one clear winner here, and that is the GT2 RS from 2012 once again. So for the next test, we decided to do a game of hide and seek. Now I'm going to put in bits from Tagos's video. He has live recording, I don't, just so you can get a better perspective of what was going on and what we were saying. So yeah, this is what happened.
If I'm on mic too far away,
is it just when you tag us then?
Yeah, I've just got to find you basically. I've got to see you in that video.
Right. Which is going to be very difficult in my car.
In a yellow Porsche.
Yeah,
Right.
so is mine. Mine's red.
Mine's
also red.
Guys, you have 1 minute to hide. After that 1 minute, you cannot move. You must stay in your positions, and I will come.
I'm doing a wheelie already.
I'm it.
Okay, guys, you better get ready. You better get ready to stop moving, because I'm going. Right, I'm out.
We get hunker drunk.
Wait, how are
I've
we hiding?
been freed with my. I've been freed from my
God, I've
cage.
just
Is there
found a
someone in
glitch in
here?
Forza. This is great. Oh my god.
You found an out of map glitch.
Well,
If so, you're gonna win.
Then that's not fair.
It's not out of match. It's not
I've got
out of
no
match.
vibrations.
It's really funny.
This is annoying. My controller's probably gonna disconnect halfway through this.
I'm currently phasing
I bet
through
all
block.
of you are. I bet all of you are hidden in
That's
here.
what I'm doing. I have absolutely no idea where they are. So.
I know one of these places has a secret spot. I saw you in there. Is that Doctor? The red. Yeah, that is Doctor. Right, you're found. Can you go?
For God's sake.
Can you go park over by the wall, please?
Whoa! Whoa!
Oh, how didn't
Where
find
did you just come from? Seriously.
I still need.
Well,
to...
obviously, that was so obvious that I would be found first because my car literally is the color that springs to eye the most.
It's really not.
no,
Oh yeah.
It's not really. Don't.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yes,
I
it's
said
red.
yellow.
It's red.
What
Red
about
is
yellow?
brown. Yeah, but
Yellow's
red is
right
known as
now.
the
Oh, how
signal
did you
color.
find me?
It is the signal color.
Red is the color of day.
And mine is bright red, and
Hello?
yours is like burgundy or something.
What is
No,
that?
we saw nothing.
I saw you, Dolphinino. Go
Mine's
park
red.
Are you
It's a darker red. It's a darker red than mine.
Right, go park over by Doctor. I've got 2 people left to find.
I'm just
Don't
driving
think-
around.
You can drive around. It's okay. Just don't point
Go
out any
on.
of the spots. Hello? Hello?
Bollocks.
I see you in
Oh,
there.
I'm
Yeah,
in the
I knew
sky.
about that glitch as well. I knew about that glitch as well. Right, now I just got the... Quinn, you won in your yellow Porsche.
Oh.
You won, but I still gotta find you first.
You went really far.
This is a great drift. I'm not gonna lie.
I got 10 seconds!
Should we have a challenge after this? That's pretty fun.
Come on!
No.
Come on!
I saw you! You're right behind
No!
I saw Quinn.
No!
Did you see me drift past?
I saw Doctor and said hi Quinn and I was like, what? No, that was...
So these are the scores for our Porsche 911 Showdown. Now you can see straight away that the older GT2 RS is pretty much got full points across the board. As you can see, it's got 5 at pretty much everything except the hide and seek. The GT3 the newer GT3, sorry, didn't do so well with a total of only 8 points. The older GT3 got 13 points. The newest one out of the bunch, the GT2 RS 2018, got 17 points. Sorry, the new GT2 got 22 points, which is, well, near max points except for the hide and seek, but we didn't really need any movement for that, obviously. And the 911 Turbo got 15 points. We've just given it 3 points for the hide and seek, just the slap bang in the middle. That seemed the fairest thing to do. So there we go. So there is still one last thing we need to do, and that is to take the 911 GT2 RS around our Sebring test track. Now, I will be putting the other Porsches around the test track. They'll all be stock, but this is the one I'm just going to show. I didn't really want 5 cars on the screen all at once, plus this video is getting pretty long. Anyway, now coming through this flat out section is where I was most impressed. That's 145 odds, about 145 miles an hour coming through that fast section there, and it was just so planted, it didn't move the back around at all. And when I watched the replay and just see it corner like that at such a high speed, I was so impressed. Coming through, this is quite a difficult braking zone coming into this corner, but it just handled it with absolute ease. A little bit of counter steer coming out of that corner, but really not too much of an issue. Coming into the other 90-degree right, once again nice and controlled. Coming into the long sweeping right, then sweeping left. This is a real test of if the car understeers or not. It gets a little bit scruffy on the way out, however it's just now a run to the finish line with that 691 horsepower engine at the back for extra grip, and that is it across the line. So the times for the standard Porsche 911s do confirm that the newest GT2 RS gets first place, then the older GT2, then the newer GT3, then the 911 Turbo, then the older GT3. And if we look at that on our actual full board, the GT2 RS, the newest one, just gets ahead of the McLaren F1 GT by about a tenth, and the older GT3 RS gets ahead of the Audi R8 by a few hundred milliseconds. Really quite close in quite a few parts of the board here. Likewise with the older GT2 RS, it's very close with the CLK GTR and my 700 horsepower Polaris. So, as it turns out, the best type of Porsche 911 is the GT2 RS. Now, big thanks to everyone who helped out with this video, including TMDC Plays or TMDC Hyper and Tigos. I will leave a preview here to Tigos's video that he did on this.
Can I make a suggestion?
Well, I still have
How about
140 less than you.
we do an acceleration and braking test?
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
so
it.
not 100 to 0.
The turbos
to 100 to
will
0.
Not to 100
Yeah.
to naught.
Should we
Alright.
go to Top Gear? We'll go to Top Gear for that.
win.
No,
Yeah, let's go to
Let's
Top
go
Gear.
somewhere
Straight
where there's
Top
a
Gear.
long straight.
Top
Yeah,
Gear.
Top Gear.
Oh yeah, because Doctor will never reach 100 because his car's pretty much in a straight line.
I will reach 100.
So there you go. If you have enjoyed this Forza Motorsport 7 video, please make sure to like, comment and subscribe if you're already to my channel. But until the next video, goodbye.